Hello everyone and welcome to a new series on the channel simply titled Useful Detonator Jumps. Here I'll be showing you the vast range of jumps pirates can do on maps and how useful they can be. They'll range from fairly useful to very useful, as a lot of maps don't exactly take detonator jumps into account in their layout, meaning some of them could be as simple as a sticky or rocket jump, but with pyro instead. Today we'll be going through all of the capture the flag maps. I'll show you pretty much every jump I know and how effective it could possibly be in an actual match. And remember, if they work on one side of the map, they'll most likely work on the other. Let's begin with a map everyone loves to hate and hates to love, 2 Fort. As you know, 2 Fort isn't a particularly big map, so there aren't too many jumps that can be done here. The first one that can be somewhat helpful is in the courtyard of each base, where you can jump from the ground onto the balcony just up top. This can lend for quicker movement if you're being chased or if you want to surprise an enemy who has the high ground. Not much else for this one, just a simple jump. This one is only useful if you have enough health and can do it in a couple of attempts. You can jump up back to your respawn near the front area of each base to refill your health and ammo quicker. Though like I said, this should only really be attempted if you can do it quick enough, otherwise it's a bad move. I mean, other than that, it's pretty cool if you can pull it off. Now here's the first proper useful one, as from the sniping area you can blast yourself over to the top of the bridge's roof. This can surprise enemies sometimes, as they're not expecting the pyro to be there most of the time. Just like a scout, you can use this to get into their base a lot quicker than fighting your way through, so it's pretty handy for a lot of things. Another pretty useful and sneaky jump you can perform is in the intelligence, as you can jump up this area and ambush anyone that comes through. Pretty handy stuff if you're being chased and need to lose the opposing team. It can be somewhat difficult to get enough height, but it's good once you get it down. And finally, you can sewer surf with the detonator blast. Personally, I can't do this very well, if at all. However, I'm sure if you've seen a Soundsmith video, you'll have seen him perform it, so there's proof of the concept in action. From my limited knowledge, you have to blast into the sides of the sewer wall, and do what you do when rocket jumping and crouch while strafing into the wall. Again, it's a pretty difficult move to pull off, but you can gain immense speed so you can pyro shot more effectively overall. Next, we're on to double cross. This one has a couple more useful jumps than 2 Fort and make for some more interesting scenarios. First is again right outside the spawn. You'll have the building on one side and the balcony on the other. You can jump up onto either of these quite easily, and using the building side can allow for you to distract and cause a scene for the enemies, allowing for other teammates to push in and help you. The next one is near the spawn too, as near the entrance of each base is the upper floor, which you can access with the stairs on the right. However, we're using the detonator, so using the slightly elevated floor to the side, we can blast our way up there and give the poor opposing team a bit of a scare. Our next jump is just outside, near the stairs leading to the bridge and sewer entry at the bottom. While on the staircase, you can jump up to the roof just above the sniping perch to attack unsuspecting snipers, and if you're being chased, just jump up there again from the perch to give yourself a moment away from the non-jumping classes before deciding on your next move. One final but difficult jump is on the side of the intelligence that has a seemingly unreachable ledge for most classes. Not for the detonator though, as with a well-placed jump you can gain enough height and length to reach the balcony. This is a very useful jump if you want to fool the enemies and take the intelligence another way back home. The problem is it is quite difficult, so you'll want to do a bit of practice if you get stuck there. The next map is Landfall, and with the map being fairly small there aren't many special jumps that can be handy, but here we go anyway. The first jump is funnily enough right outside your spawn yet again. Just jump to your left here and boom, you're there. The reason this one is so good is that the staircase reaching this area is located on the left path where you're more likely to encounter enemies, so getting up here and surprising those who are coming the other way is quite useful. The next one revolves around the middle area, where there are barrels located at the side near the path players can take to the tree in the middle. You can blast your way on top of the barrels for a sneak attack on enemies who are just coming around the corner. Simple but effective. And the last one is located in this area yet again, as there is an opening on each team's side that snipers can use as an alternate place to attack. You can jump your way in there quite easily by standing where the ammo and health spawns are and doing a blast jump. This can be quite the useful route for attacking enemies from above where they wouldn't expect to see a pyro, and to avoid any obstruction you may face going that way normally. Overall, not too many here, but they are useful nonetheless. We're moving on to the razor sharp Sawmill next, which has some pretty nifty jumps that can cut down on a lot of movement. First is, yet again, near the spawn areas. You'll see these logs just outside. Jump onto them and then detonator jump onto the area above. This will save you having to go into the center of the map to access here, so it's a pretty handy jump if you want to surprise enemies moving towards your base. Next is near the doors that are blocked off. These aren't normally closed off on the King of the Hill version, but here it is. What you can do is jump from the roof on your side onto the roof the other side. This again saves on a lot of walking and potential encounters with enemies, and while you can jump onto this little side bit on the red side, you can get there with just one jump with the detonator, so it saves a tiny bit of time. One last jump you can make is onto the log in the middle. From the top of the staircase on each side, you can use the detonator to jump onto it as it's surprisingly solid. While yes, the people on top of the stairs will easily see you, it can make for a good spot to jump down onto unsuspecting enemies, as they won't be expecting the pirate to be waiting above to strike. You'll have to time these attacks well, of course, as well as the fact that the log isn't all that big, which makes it difficult to land on. Regardless, it's a fun little jump you can mess around with to make some interesting plays. We move on now to Turbine, another very small map but still not without good jumps. The first jump isn't really a detonator only jump, but it can be good to get there quicker. Just near the intelligence where the two entries are, you can jump up to this area quick with a detonator. Again, you can always get there on the other side with a smaller ledge, but in certain situations like helping an engineer with his buildings, time matters, so getting up there quicker is essential. The last jump is more of a compilation of jumps rather than just one. In the middle you'll see the two crates and turbines. You can use a numerous amount of jumps here to your liking. You can jump onto the turbines, jump onto the crates, jump from one to another, or the most useful, from the crates or turbines onto the balconies. You can cause quite a distraction to snipers and other enemies coming this way, as they won't expect a pirate jumping from the crates below to them. In a way, this little area is a cool section of the map that you can just mess around with and do some crazy stuff. There really isn't just one way to jump here, which makes the centre of Turbine pretty unique. The last map we'll be taking a look at is, well, being one of the more open maps for Capture the Flag, you'd think there'd be a lot of jumps to be made, but not really in all honesty. In the intelligence room you can jump around a lot of the areas. One particular area is on top of this on the top floor. When you do, you can jump onto the railings just above, which are normally way out of a pyro's reach. Not much you can do up here except rain detonator blast down, but it's pretty cool if you can get up here. Outside you can jump onto the train carriages as well as the area where the train comes through. Again, it can be used for distractions and manoeuvring in places where the enemy wouldn't normally look, but that's about it in terms of jumps for this map. Yeah, when I was looking around I was expecting a lot more than this, but nope. Maybe on the control point version we'll see more, but for this one not a whole lot. I wish I could say the area near spawn was one that could be used, but the way it's laid out doesn't allow for effective jumping unfortunately. Would have been nice to utilise this in games, but guess not. And that does it for the CTF edition of useful detonator jumps. Are there any I missed? Let me know down below and I'll make an extra video detailing jumps that weren't shown in this part. Not sure what game mode will be next, but I can assure you that the fewer the maps the more likely it'll be the next one, hence why the game mode with only 6 maps was first. I don't like shilling for likes and shit, but if you do enjoy my content then please like and comment. It also does help the channel, and thanks to those of you that already do that, it's very much appreciated. And as always, this has been your Fempire enthusiast BonOakley signing out. See you guys in the next one.
Here's some of the awesome art you kind people have made. Man, look at the size of those things.
Thanks for watching! Click some of the videos above for more Fempire goodness. I'm off to slice and dice some unaware spies. Bye!